I'm going to show you how, if you want to, you can blend the teapot spout into the body of the teapot. So I'm just rolling out a coil. It doesn't have to be a pretty one. And I'm going to use some of this for some other stuff. So I'll break it at the thin spot and just save that. So what I want to do here with the coil is add it on. It's getting pretty close. That's nice. I don't need it to go all the way to the top. So I think actually what I'd like to do is probably roll the ends out thin. So I used to always do this with my teapots until I realized how much extra work it was. Maybe I'd be better now. And how I actually liked the look of the visual attachment of the spout. I liked that. So what I'm going to do is, this is already kind of scored up, but let's see if I can kind of just get in there onto the seam. That's where I'm going to be putting this thing, is on the seam between the teapot spout and the body. This one was inspired because for some reason I mismeasured and the holes are lower than the spout. So this is a perfect time to practice adding a coil because it needs some clay there. Okay, great. So since I rolled the ends out, they'll probably come back and almost meet in the middle. I'm just going to touch this into the water. I was thinking about, do I want to use slip? And I didn't have to think long. No, I don't. And I'm just going to get that symmetrical. So much about working with teapots is about the symmetry, you know, just unless you're going for asymmetry. And I'm going to, whoops, make sure that's up against where it's supposed to be. And then I'll work it into that edge. And I can just take off, there's a little bit extra here, so. And I'll probably have to keep taking this off. I'm gonna work from the bottom up. So I'm just gonna gently, gently, gently press this in, start at the bottom. Just starting to mold it into the bridge between the spout and the body. I'm sure there's lots of different ways to do this, but this is how I learned. Okay, I'm blending more, especially into the body, right? You can really use a little bit of force going into the body, a little, but not into the spout. You have to be actually very gentle with working on the spout of the body. So the spout of the body, the spout of the teapot. Okay. Okay, so as it starts to kind of get a little uneven, I'm just going to get more gentle, more connected to what I'm doing in my breath. Because I want to be gentle with it. Okay, so working it in. Okay, now I'm going to use the back of my nail and work that onto the spout. Okay. The back of the nail is like kind of low impact. It's like an easy way to kind of drag it smoothly. What we don't want to be doing is creating a whole lot of bumps here. I hope my head hasn't been in the way the whole time, sorry. So I use the backs of my nails here in the breath. And just try to get it as flat and smooth as possible. I'm channeling my mentor right now. He does this, and since I haven't done it in probably like 8 or 10 years, I gotta channel something. Okay, and some extra here. It didn't come up as much as sometimes it does. Maybe with a thinner, wetter coil, it'll come up a little bit more. Okay, so now just gently working in anything that I can gently do here with just my fingers. I really like to use my fingers to get most of the way. And then what we're going to do is we are going to use our scraper tool. So, scraper tool, you want to start on the body and scrape towards the spout in kind of X's, different kind of lines. So we can just be natural, just be comfortable. But you have to do it this way because of if you do it the other way, you're going to be digging into the spout in a way that's very difficult to fix. So I'm going to move this down because I'm getting uncomfortable now with the height. Yeah, I can see so much better. So nice to be able to see what you're doing. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, let's see if you can see. It's so nice when the camera can see. So I'm just using this now in different directions. Oops, I'm going from the spout. Be careful, Mimi. Okay, sometimes I need it to be up here. Okay, so let's see here. Try to bring it close up. Okay. Okay. And just using the scraper to smooth the line out. It's going to be tricky in here. I'm going to have to, I'm not sure which way is better in this area. Sometimes you might have to go away. Okay. It's good to kind of minimize this work in this area because it's so hard. That's why I wanted to roll those ends into points so it would be kind of way less happening up here. Not a fun place to work. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the general shape and see how I did. And it actually strangely looks pretty good. Usually in the past, I had to do more layers, but maybe I wasn't breathing as much. I bet that's it. I bet that's it. Okay, so now I'm going to use the flat end of this toothed rib to draw onto, I think that's what it is. Maybe you can do the scratches in both directions, I think, but only the back of the rib up to the spout. Definitely I'm remembering kinesthetically that this part that has to go up to the spout. So I'm just going to clean up all those scratches I made. So this is just a great trick for when you have to when you want to even something out. Scratch it away and then use the back of this rib. It can be used in lots of different applications. But I am so uncomfortable here with my neck and being able to see. We are not properly set up. It makes such a huge difference to be comfortable. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like being comfortable. Okay, yeah, it's just so freaking awkward right now. I feel like no matter where I am, it's not the right place. Maybe I need to hold it in I think so. I think I need to maybe not work on the table and work on my belly. So all these things, except for dealing with the tripod, all these things are so important, just that we're thinking about our comfort and we're making choices and we're being agile with the way we think about how we are in our bodies, and so important to pivot when something's uncomfortable. Yeah, see here I can really finally see it. And let's make sure my neck doesn't start hurting. Just going over these lines. I will have to do it again. I can feel places where there's kind of funny lines. This is the part that takes a long time. Especially up here. So the thing to watch out for is kind of digging into the pot when you contact it with the side of the rib. So you kind of need like a nice angle on it. Yeah, right here. Okay. So maybe there's a better way to do it that doesn't take all this time. You can still smooth the spout into the body of the pot, but I gave up. I gave this one up. But some people just really don't like that look of the spout being just kind of stuck on. So let's see where we're at. I'm gonna use a soft sponge. Just being really careful at that joint between the spout, like on the spout, just much lighter, much lighter. Yeah, actually I didn't have these sponges way long ago, so this does make it easier to not have to do it all with the back of the rib. Because the regular, like, synthetic sponges, they weren't so good for this job, but I think I can do some of it with this, yeah. Okay. Doing pretty good. Not so bad, not so bad. Uh-oh, careful, careful. I just saw myself do that thing with the spout, just a little rough with the spout. So many things I just have to keep telling myself, you know, every pot is different. Every pot has these different considerations we need to think about. Okay. Getting there. And then I'll just have to see if there's something needs to be cleaned up. I can see some stuff here, a little rough on the very edge. Yeah, but I think that this sponge kind of saves the day. So amazing having the right tool for a job. You know, imagine just trying to scrape down in here. Okay, and then there's my fingernail mark that I see on lots of my own teapots, probably from this move right here. Let me see. Yeah, I have a lot of tools that I never had in the past. Okay, let's clean this up and sign it. Okay. Now I have to look at it. Bring you over. Just try to clean up everything I can now. As though I was never going to get a chance to work on this pot again. Nice to use fingers instead of tools when you can. Okay. I gotta catch like silhouettes and light and blind. I need better lighting in here. Everything's backlit from these windows. Okay, I think it's not bad. It still has a little organic, like kind of growing out of the pot feel, especially on this side. Maybe I should either here, just give it a little bit, just a little bit of shape, but not that line. Okay, that's actually pretty good. It's like still a spout. But you can't see the joint. Okay, I think I feel okay with this. I wish I could see it better. Okay. I still would like it better for myself, for my own teapots, to have the belly, just to have that be bulbous, but this is not about what I like. This is about teaching a technique. Okay, let's see if this is now, it's a little bit soft, I think. But that I think is going to fit really nicely. Okay. And then we have to think about our handles. So it could have a handle back here. I was thinking about doing over the top cane handles. So I'm just going to take a look at these lugs and see how I think they would go here if they feel like they're in balance with the pot. Do you think that they're big enough? That's not on center. Oh, I've got to cut the spout first. Definitely want to cut the spout first. Oops, I broke that one. Okay, these have been sitting around for a few days. I think I'm going to make some new ones. Okay, here's something really important when we're making teapots and lots of other pots is actually aligning everything. First, let me cut this spout, which will make it even more confusing, but that's okay. So just visualize it, not very much. I don't want to cut it very much. I kind of like the round look. Just pulling towards my right shoulder. And even just taking the littlest bit off can really make a difference. And the look just doesn't look like it has a nose, you know, it looks like a spout. And also the function, depending on how much space you have and who knows what. Depending on forces of physics. Okay. Okie dokie. I think next time I make teapots, I'm going to go for a more narrow spout, just slightly more narrow. It's okay to take a minute to get that tea out. Doesn't have to be so wide. Okay. A little wipe on the bottom. Okay. That looks like about 15-degree offset. Looks good. Okay, great. So now I want to divide this. Oh wow, this got damaged. What happened to you? Oh, probably when I was manhandling it on my lap. To clean it. Yeah. Okay. So what you want to do is use a tool like a paintbrush, anything straight, and go through the center of the spout here. So I can't look at the tilt, I'm just looking at the width. Go to the center of the spout and then look at this hole here and divide it in half. Use the tool, use the paintbrush to get as close as you can to correct. And then you'll make your marks for your tool, for your handle. So, lugs. Okay, let me get this one. And I'll just do what I did before, to kind of set them in place and give them a little press into where I will attach them. I kind of wish these were a little bit bigger. I feel like I keep making them, and I think, okay, I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger, and then they're not. This one looks bigger. That one looks like skinny. Skinny. Yeah, they need to be thicker. Okay. I'll go with the two thickest ones I've got. Okay, make sure, and I just move that. So reset that. So long, the paintbrush is so long that it's it sticks off too much. Okay, here we go. Better. This is better. So getting everything symmetrical, kind of nurturing it into the place where I would like to attach it. And then pin tool. Where the heck are my pin tools? The pin tool bearings are around here. Okay, so let me just, right there, right there. And all the way there. And sorry, I know you can't see this, but I'm just tracing around my attachments. Okay. And then this one, might as well just leave that one there. It seems pretty stable. And then this one, right there. So just looking at the symmetry one more time. Yeah, and just gently pressing in. So it's kind of semi-attached. And see if I can give you one vision, one view of me actually tracing. Okay. Okay, now let's take this off. That's the one most likely to fall. I can actually just, yeah, that one's sticking for now. Okay, so it's nice to keep track of which is which and score them up in the right places where they're actually going to attach. Let's see if this is going to work. Okay, and we will put the slip on the attachment, just a little. Set it there, gently, check it everywhere, check it from multiple angles. Okay, then work it in with the fingers, gently. And clean up your lines with a paintbrush. Okay. Oopsie. Oh, I just nicked the lug. Not fatal. Trying to erase those lines. It's nice if they're not so prominent. Yeah, it can be a little easier on the tool next time. Okay. Okay. So much of this little fussing, but good. Now I really like it if my lugs are straight up and down. I think it's the strongest architecturally. Then if it's leaning out like that, I think that'll put a lot of pressure on the joint. Oh, here, let me go ahead and use my pinky. Whoa, careful. I'm not breathing. Okay, and really give a strong attachment where it's scored. Okay, and then yeah, folding that up so it's vertical. Okay. All right, other side, I'm gonna take this off. Score it up right where I want to attach it. Score these things up. Maybe I can be a little bit more conservative this time. Make it comfortable. Slip. I think it was this way, right? No, I think it was this way. Okay. No, other way. Okay. Gently working it in with your fingers. I'm just going to give it its angle here, straight up and down. Okay. Brush to clean it up all around the edges. You want lots of room right here for that cane handle to get in. You can't be up against the spout, and you need some headroom here. You don't want to have that be really low clearance. So give a lot of room there. Let me see if I can just massage some of these stress lines out. Okay. And then my pinky. And then your final cleaning up. And then just one last time, double check this kind of the size. You could, if you wanted to, push these down a little bit so you can kind of, this is the time to make the shape, make these into the shape that you really, really want. And then let me see if I can do this now. Yes. And is it an effective catch? Yes. So there it is. Aww, what a sweetie. Simple, kind of simple teapot.